Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. I just got back from the gym. I'm feeling so good right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've got positive energy surging through my body. I had to get it out. I had to speak it into the world. And so I thought, you know what? It's been a little while since I did a Milo update. Like, I've not done one of those super recently. So what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna run through a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna talk about where I'm at, the kind of focus that I'm going to have for my channel this coming year, so you guys know what to expect with MW3 Zombies and all that good stuff. I'm going to be talking about some personal stuff that's going on with me in the gym, and also some of the health issues that I've been having, which have been kind of haunting me for the last 12 months, and just a whole bunch of bits and pieces. It's going to be a big old Milo update. Call it a Milo Monday, except it's a Sunday. Who cares? That's what we're doing. And I also recognize that you guys need a bit of Subway Surfer to be able to focus these days. I get it. It's the world that we live in. It's 2023, right? So I'm going to be playing a little bit of Kino Toten while I give you this little information dump, just so that your brain has something to kind of be distracted by while I speak. Sound good? Cool. I also have to really just reminisce for just 30 seconds here. This map is so beautiful, and I really distinctly remember the Zombies Chronicles event, going and playing these maps for the first time and being so enamored by them. But then getting home and realizing, oh, I actually don't fully have all of the stuff that I want to use for my preview videos. Everyone was able to post one video that I believe had to be less than 10 minutes long, or maybe 15 minutes long, from the capture event in the build up to the release of the map pack. And it was a day-by-day thing. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up using some footage from Lex, big ups Lex, thank you for letting me use your footage, to do map comparisons where I had sort of theater mode shots of him like swinging around the map here. And then I blended those with shots from the previous games, so you could really see how the aesthetic had transformed over time, but with a literal comparison, like this exact frame, but then visualized in Black Ops 1. So you could like actually see how it had changed. And I was really proud of those videos. Admittedly, it ended up becoming a little bit more of a creative project for me than a business project. I ended up sort of making the music videos. I was syncing it all to the beat of the songs I was using, and wasn't necessarily the best thing that I could have done for views. I probably should have done something else. I know everyone else's views kind of banged a lot harder than mine did, just because not everyone cares about comparison. They care more about like some commentary and things, but that's cool. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I just wanted to sort of be like, that's the first thing I think when I see this opening first room area of Kino on Chronicles specifically, is I'm like, yeah, I remember comparing this to old Kino, man, really, really clearly. Anyway, I wanted to start off here talking about the gym. And I know that not all of you are interested in the gym, but many of you are. So the way I'm going to structure this video, and this is a little bit of an experiment, to be honest. Like, a lot of my videos recently have been experiments for me to just try and figure out what you guys actually want to watch from me. I've been making videos 14 years, and I'm still ongoingly always trying to find better ways to make content for you guys, and content that suits you better. So forgive me for experimenting here again, once more. So what I'm going to do is, to allow you to skip the gym segment, if you should so desire, I'm going to add chapters to the video. So if you click like below the video, there should be a little button you can click to just skip past the gym section. It'll take you straight onto the next topic, and you can kind of navigate that way. Hopefully that's useful. So I just got back from the gym. It was leg day for me today, and it was a very special leg day. Leg day is my favorite day of the week. Just to be absolutely clear, I freaking love my leg days. I've just always been a big leg day enjoyer. It's just who I am. But in the past year, my relationship with my leg days has been kind of wonky, right? So about a year ago, actually just over a year, I developed this weird injury in my lower left abdomen. It's very strange. Doctors couldn't really figure out what was going on. Ongoingly have not been able to figure out what was going on. And then about 6 months ago, it got a bit worse, and the pain that was in my lower left abdomen kind of moved over to my kind of groin and my like central abdomen, like lower abdomen and stuff. It was just not great. Just feeling this pain like all the time. Not a good experience. And the doctors were like, well, maybe it's a hernia. Like, that's always a possibility. But then I had an ultrasound, and they were like, nope, it's not a hernia. Like, you're good. I was like, wait, what? This seems like it really should be a hernia. What the hell else could it be? So we kept doing tests, and I kept getting scans, and they still were like, yeah, we're just not actually really able to tell you what's wrong. Sorry, buddy. But as part of that, my physio was like, well, while we don't know what's going on, we're going to recommend to you to just stop doing your leg workouts for now. Like, I was using pretty heavy weight. I had a goal, a very distinct goal, of working towards 3 sets of 5 reps of 100 kilograms. So in pounds, that's like, I think about 215 pounds maybe. But obviously 100 kg is a nice round number. And so I was like, yeah, I want to get my 3 sets of 5 reps of 100 kg. Can I get this knife kill before the nuke goes away? Maybe I shouldn't even risk it. Oh God, a couple more knives. There go. Okay, nice. I just don't need to be optimizing points like this. And yet here I am. I stopped doing my leg workouts. And then slowly but surely over time, I spoke to my physio. My physio was like, yeah, okay, we're going to reintroduce a couple of bits and pieces, just small things to begin with, so you can get back to doing that stuff, right? So I was able to do single leg extensions. I wasn't able to do both legs at once. I had to do single leg. And I was able to do single leg hamstring curls. Again, wasn't allowed to do double leg because I was trying to minimize the amount of intra-abdominal pressure that I was needing to use for those exercises. And when you're doing it with crazy heavy weight, it's just like, yeah, you're asking for disaster, right? So I did that for several months, and I was really missing my squats and my deadlifts, man. I loved those exercises. And I find that my body is really adept at making gains in squats and deadlifts. Like I think that genetically I've got pretty good leg genetics. And so I was missing them, man. And not being able to do those exercises, I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty depressed. Like the gym has become such an important part of my life. And especially feeling like my favorite part of that experience was sort of taken away from me. It was an outlet that I had built up and found to be really healthy, and that was suddenly gone. And it really upset me, and it affected my mood and just my day-to-day. Not being able to go to the gym regularly was just like, it's like eating away at me in a big way. But the most recent time I saw the physio, and this is where the good news comes in, I spoke to her and she said, well, we're still not 100% exactly what's going on here, and I'm going to give you a new kind of exercise regimen to work through so you can start trying to like build up some strength in some kind of auxiliary muscles, just to make sure that if those need to be giving you more support, then they are. But also, I'm gonna say that it's probably okay for you right now to slowly but surely reintroduce your squats into your routine. And the way that I'm doing it is very slow and gradual. But today was not my first time back doing squats like at all in the last sort of 6 months. It was actually the second. My first was about 10 days ago, just on pretty much the bar only. I think I did like maybe 40 kilos or something, including the bar in that session 10 days ago. But today I bumped it up to 50, and then 50 just felt so light. So I did 70, and oh my God, it just felt so good, man. Like I can't stress enough. And some of you that don't go to the gym may not kind of know this feeling yet. You will one day if you start going, or you may get it from some other exercise or something else. But there is a feeling that courses through my body every time I do any kind of heavier leg day. It doesn't need to be crazy heavy, like 70 kgs, more than body weight for me. So it's still heavy, don't get me wrong, like I'm still exerting, but it's not as heavy as I've been able to lift historically by any means. But when you do that, it's just this absolute rush that goes through you. And for me, doing that squat set, that 3 sets, 5 reps of 70, and then going into my single leg extensions and single leg hammy curls, oh my God, I was midway through my hamstring curls and I thought I was gonna cry because I was so happy. Like I was experiencing such a rush of like, my body has missed this so much. My legs have a pump right now. My brain is just in a hella good place with all this. And like, I was sitting there like holding back a tear, just a single tear, because I was like, I've missed this. And it was in that moment I was like, you know what? When I get home from the gym, I want to like go and make some content and just sort of like talk to you guys about how I'm doing and how good that feels. I mean, maybe that alone will inspire some of you guys to sort of like, I don't know, start going to the gym or like whatever it might be. Just like get in on that kind of rush because it feels so freaking good. And it's somewhat double-sided, I suppose, because I still don't have the solution to those health issues. And I've got other health issues with my throat, which I thought was cancer at one point, and then it wasn't, and then it was just like, it's been a whole thing. It's been a real stress. And so like that's all going on still. It's not like it's gone away. And so to some extent, I'm a little bit like, well, don't allow yourself hope and don't allow yourself to be all sort of like excited and happy when the problem is still there. Like, what are you doing? That's silliness, right? But I'm also really in a headspace right now where I've let these problems control me in a big way over the last year. I've missed so many calls with friends because I've not been able to speak because of my throat. I've missed opportunities going out. I've missed opportunities just like in general because I've felt like I've got this stuff that's wrong with me and I have to be really careful of it. But I've kind of realized that in letting that control me to the extent that it has, it's made me more unhappy. And sometimes you just gotta live, man. You just gotta do stuff. And if it's not actually like 100% optimal and the exact best thing for your body to recover or to figure out a thing. Like, sometimes you gotta be human, dude. And it's a lesson that I continuously find myself needing to learn and failing to learn, but it can't hurt to remind myself of it. And to have a day like today where I'm like, you know what, that is the right way to go. Like, sometimes I do just need to like give in to that a little bit. So here I am doing exactly that. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and I won't be able to speak. It happens. I have those days right now, which as a YouTuber, I'm sure you can imagine, sucks ass. I want to make content for you guys and I'm here like, I got dog. It's awful, but today's a good day. So I'm letting today be a good day. You know, sometimes you just got to give the universe permission to just do its thing. Tomorrow it can do someone else, but today I'm like, I'm putting my stake in the ground, damn it. And I think that gratitude I'm feeling today also is amplified by the experience I actually had yesterday. So yesterday I went to Comic Con, which was really fun. I've been to Comic Con once before, and I can't really tell you about that experience at Comic Con fully because some stuff happened at that Comic Con that really changed the trajectory of all of our lives forever, I think, in a weird way. And I'm going to keep that a secret for the time being. You can speculate all you like, but that Comic Con was an interesting experience. And it was also the Comic Con that I wrote my university final project at, which might sound weird. Like, why, by the way, I was in San Diego. Why was I in San Diego doing like a physics experiment in an Airbnb? Like, that seems like a weird way to do that. It's a long story. I can tell that story another time if you guys are interested. But anyway, I'd done that little experiment. I'd done my little Comic-Con, but I'd not really got to experience the show. At this Comic-Con in London, I was like, you know what? I want to make sure I walk around the whole thing and I like see it all. I get the Comic-Con vibe. And so I did exactly that. I was actually wearing this exact shirt. I figured I'd whack it on for this video as well, just as a reference here. But in the build up to it, I was like, you know what? I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna like dress up. Like, it would be maybe fun to sort of dress up as something because everyone does that at Comic-Con, right? Like, that's kind of the thing you gotta do, right? Then I was like, well, I don't have a costume at all. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dress up as the YouTuber MrRoflWaffles. Hence the costume. Corny, I know, very silly, but hey, I had no other ideas at the time, so forgive me for a moment of weakness. So I dressed up as me, or at least the online fake version of me that you guys all know and love. I was not necessarily Milo. I think that's a topic for another day. I'm mostly Milo on here, but there's aspects of me that are MrRoflWaffles. It's a weird blend. It's been a weird 14 years of doing this. I have become the mask in many ways, I think. But again, topic for another time. I was at Comic-Con and I met a whole bunch of you guys that didn't know in advance that I was going to be there. Like, I only said that I was going on the day. And there were just a handful of people that sort of spotted me in lines for things or just spotted me walking around. And then there were more people that spotted me outside, and there were more people that spotted me on the tube. And it was just like, it was so lovely because it used to be that at E3, right, every year in LA, that would be a really great opportunity to see a lot of you guys. And then at Gamescom, it would be another really great opportunity to meet a bunch of you guys. And those opportunities have become few and far between because of the pandemic. I'm gonna pap this pharaoh. I'm just that guy. I've had less of those experiences recently than I would have liked. And this Comic-Con was one of the first events I've been to in ages, other than the World Series of Warzone event I went to maybe a month ago, where I've been able to just meet a bunch of you guys out in the wild. And so, like, whether it was Johnny, who was so lovely, or I think it was a guy called Ral and his mates, and there was a Matt that I met that evening who was lovely. There was a Holly, there was a Steven, there was a whole bunch of people, and it was just a joy. It was a joy meeting every single one of you. There are plenty more that I'm forgetting here. There's just too many to count, really. And I just wanted to say, like, anytime I meet all of you guys is so inspiring to me because I so often hear these stories of saying, like, man, in like 2016, like, I was pretty isolated, but then your Zombies videos meant that I could connect with some of my buddies, and we had some really great times playing video games together, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. Or it would have been a story where it's someone like, I was on holiday that year, and something went wrong, and so, like, I had to, like, wait a load of time in the airport for my flight home or something, and, like, it just, like, struck me that you kind of kept me company, or, like, it could be a small thing like that, or a big thing, like people being in hospital sometimes, and I've been, like, a companion to them while they've been recovering, or, like, all sorts of stuff. I hear so many different stories from you guys, and it fills me with so much pride to have played like a little minor role in your lives in that kind of way. And I mean, it's one of the greatest honors of my existence on this planet is being in that position and just sort of forming bonds with you all and forming bonds with you and with your friends, like helping you bond with your friends and helping you bond with whether it's a family member or a spouse or like whatever it might be, a child even. Like I know that there are plenty of you guys who at this point started watching my videos and you were kind of kids. You got kids of your own now and you're like introducing them to zombies even maybe, or will be in a couple of years. And that is like, it's so cool to me, dude. So my feelings of gratitude in the gym right now and all that sort of stuff that's one thing. But on top of that, I've just got this gratitude that I wanted to get out of my system to just be like, you guys freaking rock. And it's so nice meeting you all. And I just want to say thank you, really. So that brings me, I guess, to this year. Like, we got a whole another year of zombies coming up. What the hell am I planning to do to make the year as good as 2016? Let's say. That would be the goal, right? For all parties involved, I think. For this year to be as good a zombies year as Black Ops 3 would be someone else. That would be insane. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that the game is unlikely to be as well received by the kind of hardcore players as Black Ops 3 was. And I've talked about this in my whiteboard video the other day, like, obviously. But I think that for casuals, there is gonna be a lot of room for this year to be really fun. And even for the hardcore folks to play casually, I think that there's probably going to be room. And I say this without having played it, obviously. Wasn't invited to COD Next, so I don't know. But I think that there's probably going to be room for us to have an okay time. Minimum. I think that is my current evaluation of the situation. And that's exciting, right? Because it means that we're going to have a year where we're going to be able to sort of build up like a good fundamental baseline of interest in the zombies mode. And then we're going to get to 2024-2025's Call of Duty. And that's going to be Treyarch's game. And it's going to bang. And it's going to be a zombies-filled experience with round-based and all sorts of goodies. And it's going to be a great time. And there's going to be so many more people interested in it because of the fact that the casuals have been roped in this year. That's super exciting. So to play my own part, oh dear, what's happened to this chappy here? Woo boy, that is quite the corpse. Oh my goodness. Mr. Fantastic could never. He just simply could never, dude. So what are my plans for this year, right? To play my part in trying to sort of like make it as fun for us all as possible. Well, I'm going to be making my usual guides and my usual tutorials and like ultimate guide to this and all that normal stuff, right? That is like one of the verticals of my bread and butter content. I think we can all agree on that. Another thing that I'm going to be doing this year is trying to do a little bit more stuff like this, which I've historically done like none of, which is kind of crazy to me, but it's for a very, very good reason. It's because over the years, I've kind of had a bit of a complex about having confidence that you guys actually care about stuff when it isn't specifically a utility-based exchange of information. So, for example, me making a firebow guide is me doing you guys a service, like I'm explaining something fiddly and helping you unlock something, right? But if I'm just saying like, yeah, this is how my abdomen injury is going, I've had a pretty tough time believing that you care. And that's not your fault by any means. It's just my own personal nature and the way that I've built my business up over the years. I've really kind of chased those big wins in that regard for content, and not necessarily allowed myself the breathing room to sort of sit down and say, you know what, as a person, like maybe my audience would also like to connect with the human here a little bit. Like maybe the Milo can come out and it doesn't have to be the MrRoflWaffles all the time. So I've struggled with that over the years, but this year I think that I'm just going to give it a shot. And it's going to be new for me, and like we'll see how consistent I'm able to be with it. It's going to be forming a new habit and building up an entirely new kind of content angle, and that's exciting, don't get me wrong, but it's also like new ground. So maybe the videos flop completely really hard and I'm like, well, I can't really afford to spend the time on this anymore, so maybe I'm gonna pull those back. Like, I don't know, but the intention is to try and bring in some slightly more human content. Like, that is the goal. And then on top of that, I want to experiment a little more with just like other bits and pieces. So like, for example, you guys know I'm like super invested in the gym, right? And in that obsession is a sort of desire to make some content about it and to talk about it and all those sorts of things, because I'm a content creator. I can't help myself. So I kind of want to play with a little bit more kind of gym stuff this year. I feel like I might do some challengey type things where I maybe, I don't know, get some other, whether it's UK based creators to do some like, I don't know, hybrid gaming / fitness challengey things, or maybe it's only fitness stuff, or I don't know fully just yet. But I mean, if you've got any ideas, I'd love to hear them on formats that you'd like me to experiment with in that regard, just to see what playing around in that space is like and how it feels. And there's also other bits and pieces. So like, for example, I've been doing a lot of creator consultation this year and creator strategy stuff. We've actually just got to the end of an 8-week creator accelerator. We've had a bunch of creators come in and basically learn from me and from StoneMountain64 and from a handful of other folks in the industry about how to become a full-time expert content creator. And it's a lot to teach. So like fitting it in 8 weeks is a real challenge, to be honest. There's so much to learn, but it's been an amazing experience. It's been so fun and so gratifying working with people that like come into the accelerator and they're getting like 50 views a video. And then getting to the end of this 8 weeks, and like we had a guy that like we worked together in a one-to-one for just an hour, and then back and forth on text for maybe another hour, working on this one video idea. All his videos were getting like 50 views, and then that first video that we worked on together got 27,000, and I think it's still going. I'm pretty sure it's going to hit like 50K in the next sort of month. And like that's such a transformative difference, and to be able to do that for someone in their career and to sort of turn a key and unlock something in that way, that's so freaking satisfying, man. It's the most satisfying thing in the world. So for like serious creators that are really intent on improving and going full time with this, I've been doing that work. I want to do more of that this year. Like there will be more creator accelerators coming up. Transparently, it's not for people that are like not taking it seriously and not willing to like really invest in trying to make this full time. Like it's just not designed for those sorts of people. There's other stuff out there that is suited for them that I'm sort of working on here and there, but I'm really, really excited for that more sort of intermediate stuff. And that's something I want to continue and maybe here and there bring to the channel or bring to other channels that I'm sort of starting or continuing. Like that's an exciting project of mine that I look forward to keeping going. And I'm also like just hopelessly obsessed right now with theater. I think that there's something about telling stories on a stage that's so powerful, and I love it for many of the same reasons that I love storytelling in video games. And I think like a goal of mine for 2024 is probably to just do something on a stage at some point, like to actually be there myself doing it. Whether I'm terrible at it or not, we'll see, but I think that would just be like a good personal goal to have, to put myself in that uncomfortable experience and say, you know what, I can't hide behind a keyboard and mouse anymore. Like I'm doing this for real. That would be a really, really fun thing. So I'm gonna mix that sort of stuff in here and there. Maybe you might see some bits and pieces, whether it's on my Insta or other channels, like I said, or what have you, in those kind of areas. And that's gonna be a fun experiment too. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of experimenting and figuring things out. Another thing that I'm really excited to try and do this year is to sort of step up the merch that I've done to be slightly sort of more regular, I suppose. Like I'm really happy with a lot of the merch that I've sold historically. I think that I'm just really, really pleased with how that's all gone. And like, especially that Home Sweet Home design is so special to me. It's been so infrequent, and I want to change that this year and do it a little bit more regularly. So I'm going to try and have stuff going out a little bit more often so that you guys can say, okay, yeah, like this month's design, yeah, not for me, but like maybe next month, oh hell yeah, this is really cool, this like zombies inspired thing or whatever, like kicks ass. And I'm gonna really try and kind of lean into that and experiment to see what you guys would like, because I'm in a somewhat unique position in that I have contacts with manufacturing companies and all sorts that can actually make like really, really high quality cool stuff. And so if there's like a specific thing that you're like, you know what, I just really want like a specific t-shirt or a specific hoodie or a specific beanie or a freaking umbrella, like I don't care, maybe it's an umbrella and it's raining gobblegums, I don't know, bro. If that sort of thing is something that you guys like really have in your heads, then let me know, baby. I'm open to any and all suggestions, and this is really the year where I'm going to try and experiment with the stuff. And some of those experiments won't work, and some of them will be misses, and others will be hits, hopefully. I'm really looking forward to just going on that journey with you guys. That's going to be fun, separate to all the content even. Like, that's just going to be fun. Somehow, on top of all of that, I mean, I've got a lot of aspirations here, so maybe some of this is a little bit unrealistic. We'll see. But another one of my aspirations is to... excuse me, sir, is to just have a little bit more coverage on different games on the channel. That's not to say that I'm going to be moving away from zombies. That is not the goal this year. nor is it the goal next year, like just to be completely transparent. But what I would like to do is I would like to, for example, post a couple more video game reviews. I did that with Dead Island. I did that with the new Spider-Man game. Like I'm going to try and do that a little bit more. I've been posting my Let's Plays also, obviously. So when I do a review on a game, most frequently I will also do the Let's Play and then post that to that separate channel. But I also think it would be fun to just sort of mix in a little bit of gameplay from other games here and there on this channel. Some like funny moment style stuff. So for example, I did a Payday 3 video, a Payday 3 funny moments video that I was so proud of. It didn't perform as well as I think like my zombie stuff performs, obviously. And that's to be expected, really. But I'd like to build up like enough regularity with that sort of content so that you guys expect that sort of thing sometimes and you do tap in for it and enjoy it, because I think that if you enjoy these sorts of commentaries, there's no reason why you wouldn't enjoy one of those sorts of more edited funny momentsy style thing. I think it could be just a really, really good time. So that's something that I'm going to experiment with too and try and make a little bit more regular. And the most sort of soon upcoming version of this, the thing that is sort of next on the agenda, and if you want to see this upcoming content, then I recommend you like turn on all notifications, like click the bell. Don't just do personalized, like click all for the time being, and it'll alert you when I post this content in the coming week. It's Dead Island 2, but it's DLC. So Dead Island 2 has DLC coming out fairly soon. And as soon as that does come out, I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to play through it. I'm going to post a review on it probably. I'm going to probably do some funny momentsy style stuff. Like I'm going to post a bunch of videos on it. Again, not sure exactly when that content is going to come out, but when it's ready and when they kind of give me the green light, I will be absolutely making those Dead Island videos. I will be chucking that stuff up on the channel, and I would love to have some of you guys there to kind of join me for the ride on some non-zombies, but still content containing a zombie videos. That was a weird sentence. It would be a lot of fun. So yeah, probably the best way to make sure that you do actually see those, because I see people all the time on my channel saying things like, we're here for you, Milo. We're here for like everything you do. But YouTube doesn't believe them. And what I mean by that is YouTube will recommend you videos that it thinks you're going to watch, right? That it thinks you're going to enjoy. And, oh, this was a bad idea. I should have come here with a thunder gun. Silly, silly, silly. Excuse me. But yeah, YouTube will recommend videos that it thinks you're going to vibe with. But because I've not posted this content before, it doesn't know you are going to vibe with it if you do just want to see everything I make. And so the way to make it learn and for you to actually see the stuff in the first place is to turn on those notifications. Again, if you don't care about the Dead Island stuff, it's so not deep. And I totally get it. Like some of you are here for zombies. And if it's not zombies, you're like, well, I like zombies. Like I don't want this other stuff. And that's fine, bro. I'm just saying for those of you that are like, yeah, I want more Milo does exist. It's just that you may sometimes miss it because YouTube thinks you don't want more Milo. It thinks you want more zombies. Do you know what I mean? So as this little man scuttles down the wall towards me, he's really a stinky boy. God damn. So ugly. I'm sorry, sir. So gorgeous, so beautiful, so wondrously. Oh, as he continues to slap at my face, I'm going to wrap this video up with a parting message that I'm very grateful to all of you for existing. I'm so glad to be able to do what I do for all of you guys. And I'm really excited this year to try out some new stuff and do it in a headspace that I've not been in for a really long time. And I really hope continues. And it's tough, man. I go through real highs and I go through real lows. And that's something I've really learned about myself over the years. And it's not easy. But currently, I'm in one of the upswings, and long may that continue. I mean, that is always the goal, right? I'm excited. I'm excited to try and kind of get some fun stuff out for you guys this year. And I just wanted to say thank you for being along for the ride with me. All right, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.